It's time now for the Peter Channel 11 a.m. news report on this Wednesday afternoon, June 22nd, 2016. Good morning and afternoon, everybody. I'm Peter Wiggins, your 11 a.m. news and on the top story at 11 a.m. on this Wednesday morning. Going on a Wednesday afternoon is London, where British politicians are making their crucial final pitches to their ability to divide the electorate. Wednesday to persuade the decided voters that Americans remain in or leaving the European Union. Simi Valley, California. Alarm bells went off around Wiggins' White House in the fall of 1987 when Donald Trump did not say he was considered, of course, headline the biggest independent race of the Congressional Democrats. Reagan White House viewed Trump as his logical warily. Further, Senator Marco Rubio will seek re-election to the Senate. The bills for the Republicans facing a tough fight to maintain their Senate majority in November. The Coast Guard was covered in the waters off Florida's Gulf Coast early Wednesday for a missing sailboat carrier that fathered and 3 teenage children are attempting to survive in rough seas and they have not been heard from since Sunday. Seoul, South Korea. North Korea launched an intermediate-range ballistic missile at high altitude on Wednesday morning, demonstrated that the country was making progress after 5 consecutive fails in just over 2 months, South Korea said. Improving weather conditions overnight have diverted the resources from a brush fire burning in Santa Barbara County to a pair of blazes burning above the communities in the San Gabriel Valley foothills and a third in San Diego County where the hundreds of homes. Havana, the Colombian government and leftist FARC rebels announced on Wednesday that they have reached a deal on a bilateral ceasefire of a ceasefire that would be the last major step toward ending one of the world's longest wars. After Iraqi security forces announced victory there last weekend, the U.S. said that only a third of the city in Iraq's western Anbar province had been included with Islamic State group militants. New Delhi, lightning strikes killed at least 90 people on Tuesday in 4 Indian states as monsoon rain spread across much of the country. Amjad Sabri, beloved Sufi musicians gunned down in Pakistan as fired at least 3 shots at the beloved musician's car in Pakistan's largest city, 2 combination in one of the darker days of the country's quest for tolerance, art and peace. In Seoul, North Korea's 2 mid-range missile launches indicate Pyongyang may be on the making technical progress of the weapon capable of breaching U.S. territory. Baghdad, families in Iraq are fighting in Fallujah are living in dangerous situations and are sleeping over the desert as food, water, and supplies run low. Orlando, an initial person fire between Omar Martina and security guard at the Pulse nightclub. A group of 5 or 6 police officers arrived in the scene within minutes. Brooke fired a large glass window and entered the club. The Michigan Attorney General filed a lawsuit on Wednesday morning against a water company and an engineering firm, plus several related companies in connection with the Flint Drake and water crisis that alleged the firm's acts on a mission considerate. The Senate has set the vote on Wednesday in a measure to let the FBI access to personal internet process history, email, account data, and other electronic communication without a warrant in the terrorism and spy cases. In most of Texas, 40 is arrested a father after a 6-month old was found unresponsive Tuesday afternoon outside the Melissa home. Orlando, Florida. Omar Martinez, gunman who killed 49 people in the Orlando Pulse nightclub shooting, bought plane tickets to California for his family 2 days before the massacre. Washington, Maine Republican Senator Susan Collins availed to compromise legislation Tuesday to benefit kids some form of new gun control fight to Senate. Elon Musk defended his proposed marriage to Tesla Motors Incorporated and Soul City Corporation with a second conference call about 14 hours and assert its president's $2.86 billion plan to combine the companies that are no-brainer that would benefit from both. Washington, the new forecast shows that Medicare Hospital Insurance Trust Fund will be depleted in 2028, 2 years earlier than the Pennsylvania last year, according to a government review released Wednesday. Washington, sales of existing homes rose to the fastest pace in more than 9 years and prices climbed to a new high and burying the latest sign of a rise to demand amid low interest rates and steady job creation. U.S. stock futures were higher this morning with a focus on Britain's morning tomorrow, exited the European Union trading bloc. Jerusalem. Israel will use its own cyber defense systems on the F-35 fighters. Washington, BH Defense received a $30.9 billion U.S. Army contract for work in the International Army. New York crude oil prices recovered somewhat on expectation and declined inventories by uncertainty. To the end of the rally added the Brexit vote. Washington. Airborne Systems. North America has received a $99 million contract purchase of RE-1 advanced air parachute system and spare parts. Looking at stocks now. The Dow up 36 points at 7907.49. SP 5 up 9.52 points at 2008.42. And Nasdaq 26.4 points at 4086.81. Foxborough, if Robert Kraft has his way, the New England Rebels will be leaving Foxborough. The Kraft Group is in negotiation with the University of Massachusetts to move the soccer team out of Gillette Stadium into a new stadium at the former Bayside Expo Center in Interstate 93 Boston Dorchester Day, but the Boston Globe reported Wednesday Senate anonymous sources. Like many Major League Soccer team owners, crafted for years sought to build a small stadium, especially for soccer. Previous stadium proposals for focus on Boston Waterford as well as Somerville and Revere. Kraft did not discuss it at Bayside Expo. Land with U.S. Basketball will be bought the property for $18.7 million in 2010 after the center went into the foreclosure, the Globe said. The school staff raised the former compared to the exposition center as part of the plan to expand the U.S. Boston campus at the site. A center would offer U.S. Basketball source revenue at time when the university system reached a nearly limited ability to borrow money for major expansion. The Globe said U.S. Boston also developed a sports management program which can be benefit from the access to a professional team. Sudbury, Massachusetts, an arbitrator has ruled that the town of Sudbury was justified when it fired a middle school employee who missed too much work after his son's shooting death. The Metro West Daily News reported Wednesday that the former public works employee Anthony Zanko used up his sick vacation personal time who else but an athlete had 41 unexcused days off following the March 2014 death of his 17-year-old son Tyler. Tyler was killed during a drug robbery in Waltham. For the first time, scientists have predicted the computer image showed huge sections of California risking and sinking around the San Andreas Fault. For women who use birth control, it's well known but disheartening fact that the pathway to it, prescription part of the necessary expensive barriers. Evidence is about the dead doctors receive a little of one meal for a drug company tends to prescribe more expensive brand name medication for common ailments that those don't. You don't doubt that the rate that held and seen the picture since late October, more than 1,500 babies have been born in Brazil with a devastating birth defect caused by the mosquito-borne Zika virus, and out of over 3,000 possible cases of Zika linked. Every year, almost 500,000 children across the United States visit emergency rooms with concussion, but recent studies find that it may not be undercount just how many kids really have concussions. Alright, take a look at Peter Chell News Time, 11:07 on this Tuesday, on this Wednesday morning, going on a Wednesday afternoon, 9 hours. Spot support. Tonight, the Boston Red Sox will square off against the Chicago White Sox at Fenway Park at 7:10 p.m. Golfer Roy McIlroy became one of the most high-profile sports stars to orbit out of the Winter Junior Olympics because of concerns about the Zika virus and Wednesday the risk he's willing to take. Boston White Sox manager Robin Mintre had little advice as Zach took when the reliever was about to the base a little German in the ninth inning. Michael Bradley was the only reason the U.S. men's team got destroyed 4-0 by Argentina Copa America to try to save the West played the blame to go around. IB reports that the 31st franchise be awarded to Las Vegas as soon as the 2017-2018 season. Hawk fans across the globe are plotting for the next Sin City weekend. Peter Chell News Time, 11:08 on this Wednesday morning, going on a Wednesday afternoon, time now for a traffic and transit report. Let's study up down in Rhode Island, where Route 4 is up by time, little slow around Route 403, and Route 4 is up by time, little slow around Route 1. 95 is up by time, little slow before 395 New London, and 95 northbound side, little slow in the Mystic Connecticut stretch. Out in the Cape and Islands, it's looking good on Route 6 from Southern to Orleans, 20 is up by time, little slow after the Bourne Waterway. But Port of Southern bridges are looking good. Route 3 stop and go from Hingham to Route 228 Rockland. Service Express on the northbound side, so the split audio at the Mass Pike. Service Express southbound side, so the Pike audio at the Dorchester. 120 at the northbound side, it is so before Route 9 in Wolseley. 120 on the northbound side, so for Route 20 in Waltham, all the way after Route 2 in Lexington. Route 1 at the northbound side, it is so from 180 all the way at this August. 120 is southbound side, so for the Lexington stretch. 185 on the northbound side, low, so the Littleton stretch. 2 on the eastbound side, low, so the Littleton stretch. 495 on the northbound side, low, so the Newburyport stretch. 101 on the westbound side, low, so after this. Everett Turnpike in Manchester, New Hampshire. 89 on the northbound side, little so before Route 91 in Lebanon, New Hampshire. 95 on the southbound side, little so before the Falmouthburg up in Cumberland, Maine, on the Maine Turnpike. 89 on the northbound side, little so after the Montpelier stretch. I-91 on the southbound side, little so the Northampton stretch. 91 on the southbound side, so 281 and 57 in Springfield. 91 on the southbound side, little so Hartford stretch. I-E for the westbound side, little so on Hartford stretch. Route 9 in the eastbound side, little so after I-91 in Middletown. Merritt Parkway on the northbound side, Lewis and Hampton Stretch. Merritt Parkway on the northbound side, Lewis and Fairfield Stretch. 95 of the southbound side, so the Bridgeport Stretch, and 95 of both ends, also the Norwalk Stretch and the Stamford Stretch. And highways and byways, New York City, Oswego, Long Island Expressway, slow from Queens to Manhattan. 278 eastbound on both ends, slow from President's Bridge up to Brooklyn. Belt Parkway, stop and go from Brooklyn all the way up to Brooklyn. And 679 on the northbound side, also from JFK to the Queens. 95 on both ends, also the Buckler to George Washington Bridge. Alright, let's take a look at MBTA alerts at 11:10. Ferries, they are looking good. On the subway system, it's looking good. And on the commuter rail, Worcester train 512, 848 minutes, operating 25 minutes, beyond schedule between Wilson Square and Stop Station due to truck work. Middlebury train 012, 938 inbound about Middlebury, and it's operating 35 minutes beyond schedule due to a mechanical issue. And ferries, they are looking good. Peter Channel News time, 11:11 on this Wednesday morning and Wednesday afternoon, and it's time now for a weather report. And looking at radar, and it shows a line of showers from western New Hampshire all the way up, covering much of Vermont and the northwestern Massachusetts and east New York, northeast of Albany and Silver Springs. But this is a heavy band of showers and thunderstorms from Burlington down to Montreal and down to Rutland. And the rain showers stretch about some Quebec from east to Montreal down to Wheaton. And this is two bands of heavy showers and thunderstorms. This is a heavy band around east of Bennington, up at the Shaftesbury, and then east Darlington and up Route 7. And this is a blob of heavy showers and thunderstorms around Huntington, around Bristol, Vermont, Ripon, Vermont, Roxbury, Vermont, Granville, Vermont, Hancock, Vermont, Rochester, Vermont. And particularly where they're going to be going, they're going to be headed towards the east. So New Hampshire could be ready in these lines of showers and storms. And this is a line of heavy rain showers stretching in the northwestern portions of Maine, and a little line of rain showers stretch around Harrison, Maine, and around Waterford, Maine, and around Denmark, Maine. And this is a popcorn clusters of rain showers around Jackman and Rockwood up in Maine, and extended towards the northeastern portion. Alright, 7-day forecast goes like this. For this afternoon, but the rest of the afternoon is going to go like this. Today, Punta skies 84 degrees. Southwest about 5 to 10 miles gusts high 20 miles an hour. For tonight, mostly clear skies with gradual coming. Clear skies about 54 degrees. West about 3 to 7 miles an hour. For Thursday, showers like me after 2 p.m. Punta skies about 75 degrees. Light available wind coming 7.6 miles in the afternoon. Chance rate 6%. New about between a quarter and half an inch possible. Thursday. Check the showers made before 11 p.m. Most skies going to about 34 degrees. Northeast about 5 to 7 miles coming north up to midnight. Chance rate 30%. New York is about 3 to 10 quarter inch possible. Friday, punch about before 8 a.m. West. South sky about 88 degrees. North for about 5 miles coming in the morning. Friday night, most clear skies about 36 degrees. Saturday, punch about before 8 a.m. West. Sunday, the most clear skies have about 8 for about 38 degrees. And for Sunday, punch about before 7 a.m. West. Sunday, the podcast coming 6 about 59 degrees. Monday, most of the podcast coming 5 about 62 degrees. And for Tuesday, punch skies about 85 degrees. Currently not near it's first skies at 78 degrees, 26 miles Celsius, and 36% humidity. And that is going to be it for the Peter Channel 11 a.m. news report on this June 22nd, 2016 on Wednesday. Tuesday, have a good morning, a good Wednesday, and I will have a good afternoon. I'll see you at 5 o'clock for 5 o'clock. Have a good afternoon.